show is about to start. Thank you for your cooperation. Enjoy the show, and please come back and visit us again.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to a very darkness new year. It sounds like it's going to be a lot cooler than it really is. It's just me and, well, this hush. What?
I don't know.
What are we hearing?
I think Hans is celebrating New Year's early.
But I'm hearing myself come back to me. What? This is good grief. We've got the moment we begin, the dog goes crazy. He apparently cannot tell time. We begin barking and cheering at midnight. It is 10:01 here.
Yeah.
Listen, it came to my attention. Get the shock collar, not for me, for the dog. No, it came to our attention. There are a lot of people on New Year's stuck at home, like we are. We've got a sick kid downstairs, and I know I said in the posts, no COVID talk. Well, it's not COVID. It's just a stomach virus that kicked the shit out of the rest of us for the last week, and now it's just down to the last kid pooping, and that's it. And I won't say who it is because I just said pooping. And he'd be humiliated. But I'm glad that you guys are here with us. I want to thank you very much for joining in. We have absolutely no format. We're just going to literally BS and have some fun. Now, if you're watching on my Facebook pages or any of the Twitter pages, we're inviting you to be a part of this. Not only is there a link to watch this live, but there's also a link where you can be one of the guests and you could just pop up and shoot the breeze with us. If you'd like that link and you can't find it anywhere else, email me, dave@darknessradio.com. And while we're BSing, I'll keep vacillating back and forth with the email so I can send you the link and show you how to get in. It's going to be a lot of fun. It seems like I'm overselling that it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know what it's going to be, but we're just going to have some fun with it anyway. And if you have a joke to tell, story to tell, if you've got maybe you're a musician out there, a frustrated musician on New Year's Eve, and you would like to call up and be a part of this and sing a song for us to celebrate the new year, share a favorite tune of yours that you've written, or perhaps one that you just are a fan of and want to play a cover version. Let's hear it. Let's celebrate. We're going to make a little mixer party. I'm also watching the comment section, so if you have questions, you can feel free to join us in that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try to put the link up for joining the talk in the chat section if I can. This is all new to me, folks, so I'm not sure exactly how I do this. Again, I'll put that there. So I think if you're watching it on YouTube, the link just popped up in conversation, and now you can pop on. All right, now she's back. She's silenced the dog with a bone, and she is back with us now, my lovely wife, Winnie, and hanging in with you for the new year. I hope everybody is ready for the big change. I know I am. I'm tired of 2021. There's been a lot of good to it and a lot of fun. But I think we're just all kind of worn out and looking forward to 2022. But every day I look back, honey, at the Facebook posts from the last 5 years, they all seem to end the same way. I'm done with this year. Bring on the next.
I know, right?
It began in 2015 when we lost, or was it 2016 when we lost all those musicians.
Mm-hmm.
My mom passed away. Everything was just like, that was the year everybody couldn't wait to get out of.
Yeah.
And then every December 30th and 31st from that point forward on social media, everybody's just, I got to get out. I want nothing to do with this. And that's it. So let's see. I have some questions popping up here. I'll try to answer. Osiris Ray says, do you have any events near New York coming up? Check out darknessevents.com. I really can't remember the places that have hired me or bringing me in. Do you remember if there's anything?
Well, you do.
New Jersey.
Yes, I was just going to say you have the New Jersey event. I will look that up real quick.
New Jersey Para-Unity.
And find the dates for that. But that, I think, is the closest one to New York as of now. So,
yeah.
but let me double check the dates so they
Yeah.
can be aware of it. But yeah, if you want to check out any events that you're going to be at, just go to darknessevents.com and they're all listed there and links available to get ticket info. If it's at a hotel info and all that stuff.
Yeah. So that's all up at darknessevents.com. New Jersey Paracon, I think, is the only one I have that's coming up near New York.
Yes, and that will be July 23rd.
Yeah.
A one-day event.
Yep. And that was a great event last year. We had a lot of fun. Got to meet a lot of people. So thank you for asking. Let me see what else is going on. Melody, hey, it's good to see you. Former Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus performer and clown par excellence. I hope I have that correctly. Melody is on. It's good to see you. Happy New Year, Melody. It's been a while since you've chatted with us, and I know that you were following a strange story, and I hope that you'll connect with me by email again and tell me how that whole thing has been popping up. Let's see. My fiance Jonathan says hi. Well, hi, Jonathan, and hi, Chris. Thank you for joining us. Yes, here's a fan. Kathy says New Jersey Para Unity is amazing, and I can't disagree with you. I mean, I could, but I'd be lying. It was a great time. Let's see what else is going on. We got more statements coming up. On Christmas, my candle melted into the form of Mother Mary over the manger. Can I send it to you? Yeah, please. I'd love to. Just email it to me, dave@darknessradio.com. I would be more than happy to see that. And again, if you guys want to join in, you can email me, dave@darknessradio.com. I'll send you the link. You can actually pop on with us tonight, not just questions, but you can join us. Melody, if you want to join in, let me know. We put a link up on a couple of the different posts, so you can click the link and become like a guest, I guess, a guest in our virtual home here as we are celebrating New Year's Eve stuck at home. So if you're lonely, bored, and just looking for some people to hang out with, let's do it. We can all connect that way. Doubleday Clement says 2021 dated joke. I heard a lot of people are standing behind Alec Baldwin. That's because no one is crazy enough to stand in front of him. Wow.
Boom, boom.
Wow. Too soon, but it's funny. It is funny. Strange stuff. This has been a weird year when you look back at it. And first of all, we'd be remiss if we didn't start off by acknowledging the sad passing of Betty White.
I know.
I feel sick saying that. I don't want to say the sad passing. For God's sakes, the woman was really, she was 100 years old. She was like 18 days away from celebrating her 100th birthday. That's not somebody you mourn for. That's somebody you celebrate, because this woman led an incredible life. And you realize she started in the entertainment field as a child. So she's left like 80 years of entertainment for us and lived a life 100 times over. So don't mourn her, celebrate and enjoy the life that she led and all of the legacy that she left behind, because that's really the best part about it.
I just think that everybody, like when you get close to 100 years old, it's like that is the goal. I got to make it to 100. And she was just a couple weeks shy of it. I mean, great. Yeah. I mean, she led an incredible life. I'm a huge Betty White fan. I was very sad to hear of her passing. I didn't believe it at first. And I was like, no, this can't be happening. Not on December 31st.
I think it's hilarious that the conspiracy is she's faking us out. And when the ball drops and lands, it's going to open up and Betty White's going to step out and flip everybody off and say, I was just kidding, just kidding. That would be pretty remarkable, but I don't think that's going to happen. And, but I don't know if George Burns made it to 100 either. I think he got that close. Perhaps one of our lovely friends in the chat room know more than I do. But it's a shame she won't be around to entertain us. That's what we're really bitching about, is that we've lost the comedy and fun. But what a remarkable life. I'm just so happy that, we lived in a world with Betty White.
I know.
Right. What's weird now is we're looking at a future world without Betty White. Now I am depressed.
Exactly. We're not going to have Betty White around anymore. Granted, we have all the past stuff, but I mean, she didn't work too much in her later years. She did little bits here and there and cameos, but I mean, God bless her. I mean, she was working and doing appearances and all that,
To Betty White, everyone.
To
Raise
Betty
a glass
White.
to Betty White.
I miss her.
I will take any questions you have. Feel free to put into the chat and I will try to get to them. Let's see. Right. TJ Davis has the right idea. Screw the new year. We're drinking for Betty tonight. That's right.
Yep.
That's the way Betty would want it. Somebody just asked me a question. Let me see if I can find it. Vicky Stone, have you ever investigated Waverly Hills in Louisville, Kentucky? Ever? Yes. As a matter of fact, I was just there, 2 months ago with Nick Roth and his wife Tessa and Shane Pittman. We did an event there. So I've been to Waverly, I think probably 7 or 8 times. So it's always been fun and a good time to join in. We've had strange experiences there. I had my first shadow person encounter at Waverly Hills. I was walking, running a big event there. So Tina Mattingly, the owner, and I were walking back to the headquarters area. We had set everybody off to ghost hunt. And as I'm walking down the hall, she goes, turn off your flashlight, Schrader. We're going to look for shadow people. I'm like, oh, sure we are. Let's look for shadow people, Tina. Sure. So we turned off our flashlights and I gave my eyes a few seconds to adjust. And we're walking and all of a sudden she goes, look. And we stop and she points down the hall at one of the door frames. And from the door frame, I just see the silhouette of like a head and shoulders going. Like it's leaning out, bobbing back and forth, leaning out, looking at us. And my brain begins trying to process this. Now, I am what we call a skeptical believer. I believe in the paranormal and I've had experiences my whole life, but I'm skeptical of some situations. And here's what I did know. There was a full moon that night. I remember because everybody was excited to be investigating on the night of a full moon. There were no windows on that side of the building at the time. There was a nice breeze because we all needed that breeze. It was 900 degrees. I think it was middle of August in Louisville, Kentucky. It was like walking through pea soup. Yeah, Marie, I saw you called in and then dropped out. I was just in the middle of a story that I was going to bring in. I'm sorry. If you want to come back in, you can be a part of the program as well. Anyway, I look and I'm like, you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing the shadow of a tree branch. The moon is out behind there. And what it is it's a shadow of a tree branch kind of bobbing. And I can hear the wind and it's going in that same rhythm of the wind. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's interesting. And then I turn and right in front of me, walking at me down the hall is a shadow person, 3-dimensional dark figure. It passed through me shoulder to shoulder. And I wish I would have an experience that went along with it. Like I felt a tingle or I could suddenly see flashes of that person's life or I farted. Anything would have been great.
No cold breeze or anything?
Not from him or my ass. Nothing. And I stopped and I slowly turned and looked down the hall and you could see it walking away. And I go, Tina, what the hell is that? And she turns and looks and you could see it. And then all of a sudden, poof, the whole hallway went jet black. You couldn't see the light at the end. And
wow.
she goes, that's our resident spirit, Big Black. And then all of a sudden you could see the end of the hall again. It was like the black just vanished. So that was a really cool shadow figure experience for me. And then I had all kinds of crazy stuff going on when we were there. If I missed a question, repost it again. I'll try to get to it. Curly Girl says, any new shows, ideas, any way to get you in a new production with Shane and Cindy? Still suffering from Holzer Files withdrawals over here. Well, Curly Girl, I've been talking about it for a while. Cindy and I filmed a new series that should be out sometime in 2022, hopefully spring, early summer. Shane Pittman filmed a new series that's going to be out hopefully in spring or summer of 2022. So we're all in a holding pattern waiting for those to go. Curly, I would love the chance to work with those two again, especially Shane. He's like my brother, my long lost brother, and I miss having him around, but I'm proud of the new project we worked on. I can't wait to see it, and that should be coming out soon. So I hope you'll tune in and love that as much as the other programs we've been a part of. Let's see, Sabrina Gamble, have you ever been to Baker Mansion in Altoona, Pennsylvania? I get some cool evidence there. I have not. Baker Mansion. Honey, put that on the list. Places to go because Sabrina Gamble said so. And I'll check it out. No, be a little bit more clear. I need to know what kind of strange stuff is going on. Shannon Lee, my lovely sister, I hope in 2022 I'll get to see you and spend more time with you guys. Well, you're going to see me at the New Jersey Paracon. Our brother Dwayne is going to be there. Our sister Kimberly is going to be there. It's the first time I get to meet them. I'm super excited about that. So I'm just pumped. 2022, I think, is going to have really a lot of great opportunities and things going on. So I hope people will come on out and spend a little time with us. Let's see, what do we have here? Do your animals ever feel paranormal? We just as we started the show, our dog started barking like a maniac for no reason.
Well, I think we
No, it's paranormal, honey.
No, I had just the other day, and I recorded him barking in the mirror at something that was not there.
We would show you that video, but it also shows you just how disturbingly unkempt our room is.
Well, we've been dealing with the holidays and sick
We're just
kids.
insanely messy people. Let's see. We do have somebody trying to join in with us. Melody, I'll get back to your question, I promise. Marie, welcome to the show. Are you there?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. Hi.
Hey, Marie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I like this kind of cloak and dagger stuff you're throwing at us. We just get to hear a voice out of the abyss.
It's been a bad day.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Well, what's going on?
Not much. Just hanging out.
Well, that's good. You say it's been a bad day. Well, what can we do to turn it around and make it a bad, or not a bad night? That was worse. You only think you've had a bad day. What can we do to make it even worse?
Oh, just keep doing what you're doing.
How about this? Look, I'm gonna go all Rudolph for you. Maybe not. It's not hanging on. This is the worst COVID mask ever, honey. I think they're gonna. If I wear this on an airplane, people are not gonna like it.
That's my bikini tops.
Good God. Actually, a good friend of ours, Jenny, made these. They are nose warmers, and in Minnesota, they are definitely needed. So,
yeah, we're gonna
thank
need
you
them
to
tomorrow.
Jenny Frank for that. Yeah, it's going to be freezing here. So did you have any questions or a story to share with us, Marie?
No, not really.
No,
I just got a flash that you guys were on, so I thought I'd join in.
Awesome. Have you ever had a paranormal experience yourself, Marie?
A couple.
What's the one that impacted you the most?
Gosh.
And I'll tell people while you're thinking of it, if you want to join in and you don't know how, just email me, dave@darknessradio.com, and I'll send you a link, and then you can join into the live chat with us here and be a part of it. You could be on video, or you can call in, just have the elect not to have the video part. You can just talk like Marie's doing. But go ahead. What's the most unusual or impactful paranormal experience you've ever had?
Well, it's been a while, but many years ago, it was actually one of my first paranormal experiences. Sitting in my college dorm room, and my little steam trunk started to shake. So my roommate and I kind of looked at each other and thought, maybe we got a mouse in there or something.
It's a big ass mouse, Marie. If the entire was Mickey in that box?
Is that the mouse?
We got up and we took everything out of the trunk, and there's nothing in it. Put everything back in, shut it back up, shook one more time, and that was
that's crazy. That is very crazy. And you have no idea, nothing happened again after that?
No, I seem to remember something flying across the room once, but that's about it.
Look at how nonchalant. Yeah, I seem to recall something dangerously flying across the room. It tried to impale me, but other than that, not much. Let's see. We do have another comment here. Chris says, my daughter, Trina, has a question. If you could go to any haunted location in the world, where would you want to go? Marie, where would you like to go?
Gettysburg.
Gettysburg. Okay. Winifred, where would you like to go?
Well, Gettysburg would be probably the top of my list.
Such a copycat.
No, not. I've never been there, and I'm a huge history buff, especially with the Civil War. So that is like a bucket list place for me to go, just to see the history of it. And the paranormal stuff is kind of a bonus for me. So Gettysburg. I would love to go overseas to like castles in like Scotland, Ireland.
All right, hold on. Boom. You're going with me to Ireland this June. So there you go. Congratulations. Marie, sorry, I can't take you to Gettysburg, but I guess I've said it a lot recently. The one place I would love just unfettered access, and not to dig into people's drawers and look at stuff, but I would love to investigate the White House and just be able to go in there with like Jeff Belanger and Shane Pittman and my wife, so she doesn't nag me that I didn't take her to the White House, but I would just love to go in and investigate the White House. To me, that seems like it would be an amazing location. And having had a chance to visit the conference house where Benjamin Franklin took a stand against the king, that was amazing to me. To be at the Morris Jumel Mansion where George Washington held it as a stronghold during the war. Aaron Burr came through those doors. Thomas Jefferson came through those doors. That to me is remarkable. So I love places steeped in that kind of history.
Yeah.
So that would be my choice. Now, I want to go back to this. Carol had said, on Christmas, my candle melted into the form of Mother Mary over the manger. And Carol asked if they could send in. I'm sorry, Carol, I don't know if it's male Carol, female Carol, non-binary Carol. So I'm not even going to assume it's a him or her. I'll just say Carol sent me a photograph. And let me see here if I can figure out how to get back to it. And I said, yeah, we'd love to see the candle wax Mother Mary. Oh, I put it in the wrong place because I'm a knucklehead. Hold on. Let me go back here and I'll put this picture in as soon as I can find it. There we go. Give it a second to upload. And here.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty.
See it.
That's pretty neat. Very cool. Well, and if you have a paranormal photograph you'd like to share with us, folks, you can email it to me, dave@darknessradio.com. I can try to pop it up on here. We can discuss it as well. Let me go back to some of the other questions we have going on here. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll through this and not miss anything. So I apologize if I did and trying to go back. Oh, here we go. Melody also had a follow-up. Have you ever been to Vermont? Yes. I played a gig there this summer at the fairgrounds. Radioactive water, no lie, and strange anomalous things. The strangest people I've ever met, bar none. Twilight Zone vibe for the entire month I was there.
Oh,
That's crazy. I've been to Vermont, but we didn't have that kind of excitement. Man, you got to tell me where you party, Melody, because that sounds like
very Twin Peaks.
Yeah, very, very Twin Peaks. Hey, we're doing an event coming up this week. Oh, yeah, you're on. You're on. Jamie Hauk, the medium, is with us. Look at her. She's switching cameras around.
Yeah.
Thank you. Was
yell at me then?
Was I not supposed to put you on video? You looked surprised by this.
Her face.
Jamie is a medium and a friend of ours here who lives in Minnesota, and she's going to be joining Shane Pittman and me and Bill Chappell this upcoming weekend at the Palmer House Hotel in Minnesota for an event weekend. We're going to have a great time.
I'll be right back.
All right. We'll wait for you, Maria. I'll put you down for a second because we do have this guy from the darkness, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, it's obviously Zach Baggins. You can tell by the pointy hair.
By the pointy hair.
That's the only defining feature. What the hell are you talking about, man?
I can't see. You're pitch black, dude. I just see a point of darkness.
You need more light.
I'm sorry. I'm outside right now.
He forgot to put on his makeup.
Excuses.
Exactly.
Yeah, drinking some whiskey here.
Right to Betty White.
That's right. That's right.
To the
Betty White.
Oh, I got mine.
How's everybody doing?
Jamie, you're coming to this event. You're going to be our resident medium. You're going to be doing some gallery sessions and helping people connect to the other side. You're going to hang out during the ghost hunts too, right? And see if we can.
Yeah, I already took the day off of work, so I will be there early on Friday to help get people checked in and all that kind of stuff too. So yeah, excellent. I'm super excited. I haven't been to the Palmer House and I don't know anything about the history, so whatever I get is going to be all new to me. So
it's all new to Shane as well. Yeah. So you're all in the same environment. Now, when you go into a haunted location as a medium, are you overwhelmed by this? I mean, do you have to go in and start throwing up tinfoil hats just to make sure that you're not being abused by the spirit realm?
No, just because before I go in, I always ground and center myself, surround myself with protection, and go in and just kind of feel in the room. And that I can tell you that the very first time that I did that and fully kind of dived off the edge of the dock at this one place,
right?
I walked through the entire house and literally everybody was like, "Are you okay, Jamie? Are you okay?" Because I literally looked drained from going through the whole house.
Well, this is, I will warn you, if you've never been here before, the Palmer House is cray. It is one of my favorite places. Cray Cram. So in with the kid crowd, aren't I? Shane, are you jealous? The Palmer
I don't know
House,
if that's the word anymore, Dave. It's
Isn't it?
2022 almost now.
It's
so.
totes cray cray.
No.
This is an image. I actually took this image outside the Palmer House a few years ago. I think 5-6 years ago. But the Palmer House is a great location. And I will mention to people, Shane, myself from the Holzer Files, Sarah Lamosse, and Bill Chappell. Sarah from Ghosts of Morgan City, Bill Chappell from Ghost Adventures. We're going to be doing 2 one-day events in the month of March 25th. And then we will be back on March 26th. Both days are jam-packed. We've got an 11 a.m. check-in for the event, 12 to 2 p.m. gallery session with Sarah, 3 to 5 constructing a spirit box that you get to keep. Bill Chappell brings it, all the parts and components, so you get to build a spirit box and get to take it home and use it on the investigation. We'll take a little dinner break, 6:30 to 7, ghost stories and encounters in the Palmer House with the owner, Kelly Freeze. 7 to 8, the Ghost Files, stories and Q&A with me and Shane, and he'll be much better lit for that one. Although from the tumbler of liquor in his...
I'm outside. We're watching the fireworks and stuff. So
fireworks.
Yeah,
you guys are fancy in Georgia.
Oh, apparently. Hey, they shoot them at all times of the year. This isn't the only day. That's the crazy part. They find unique occasions and they just go with it, and they'll shoot fireworks. Doesn't matter if it's Memorial Day. They're always shooting them off.
You know what, Jamie, when you try to connect with spirits in Georgia and Alabama and Mississippi, the ones that went before their time, their final words were always, "Here, hold my beer." Before they check out.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. We also have 9 p.m. to midnight is a ghost hunt at the Palmer House. Then 12 to 1:30 a.m. evidence review, drinks and pizza in the bar. That's what's coming up. If you're interested in joining us in March 25th or the 26th, you can find information at darknessevents.com. Shane, I've told people for this first event, we're calling it the Hell Frozen Over Holzer Files event, because you told me hell would have to freeze over in order for you to come to Minnesota in the winter.
And apparently it's going to be, because I think the day that I fly in, it's going to be negative 21 or something like that. Is what I saw. And, no, excuse me. Negative 11 is going to be the high.
Maybe, if you're lucky. But it's a good cuddling weather. You'll find out after being here for one weekend why I have 11 children, Shane. There's not much.
It makes a lot more sense now.
There's shoveling or making babies. That's pretty much all we have.
Yep.
When I started, there was no Netflix and chill. We just went straight to the chill. But
I'm gonna die there probably, but hey, it's gonna be a good time.
Well, that'll be great for the next set of ghost hunts, because then I'll be able to bill you as a spirit, and your charge to me is much less.
There you go.
Marie's back with us as well. She is the little gray box on the side. Marie, you've got Shane Pittman from the Holzer Files. You've got Dave Schrader from the Holzer Files. You've got Winnie, who's forced to be married to Dave from the Holzer Files. And medium Jamie Hauk, who's been hired by the Holzer Files to come do this event with us. So welcome back. Are you there with us now?
Hello, Marie. And she's not.
All right, I'll put her down. I'm taking her off the screen. I'm not putting her down. Your mother dresses you funny, Marie.
No, I just really feel like this is like Hollywood Squares.
Yeah. We should totally do that.
I know, right?
Let's see. I've got some other ones. Oh, my buddy Sam Beltrusis pops on. Happy New Year, you two. This question is for Winnie. Has Dave ever brought home any attachment from his investigations?
I don't know if it came from his investigations, but things amped up when he would come home from filming. Yes.
So they amped up, baby.
Oh my God.
In the bedroom, and it's usually in our bedroom.
Thank you.
But on the other side of the veil.
She's lying.
Not on our side of the veil.
No, when I came back from filming the new series, Shane, this was crazy. I came back, and you remember when we filmed season 1 of Holzer Files, I came back and I told you weird stuff started happening at home.
Yep.
And one of the things that happened was we're by the front door. We've got stairs that go upstairs, and then stairs that go to our floor that leads like a little living room I'm in right now, and then into our dining room, kitchen, and that area. And we were talking, and my son was on the stairs, and my daughter Ripley was sitting behind him. And I asked a question, and I heard what I assumed was my other daughter, Pacey, respond. And I go, Pacey, come here. And Ripley gives me these huge eyes, and she's shaking her head, and she points to our son. And I'm like, what? And then she mouths, Pacey isn't here.
Oh, yeah, I remember you.
And I was like, what? And she nods real slowly, and she's trying to keep her cool so she does not freak out her little brother. And Max is actually pretty cool when it comes to weird stuff. He just overlooks it most of the time. But we had stuff like that happening after first and second season. When we got home, I swear this was a joint effort. We went to bed. I'm sound asleep. And at one point, I start feeling somebody crawling on the bed. I thought Winnie had gone to the bathroom and came back in and overshot her end and was looking for the bed because I like my room pitch black. And I'm like, what the hell? And I felt this, and then there's nothing. And then all of a sudden I felt somebody kind of shove right in between my shoulder blades.
Yeah, that's a big nope.
I know.
Is that a drive-by shooting we just heard, Shane?
Hit the deck.
It's the fireworks, I'm telling you.
So
I wasn't lying to you.
I feel this jab between my shoulder blades, and I sit up, and then I go out loud, I go, no, that's not okay. You can't climb on me in bed, and you can't touch me. And all of a sudden, Winnie just kind of rolls over and looks at me and goes, fine. I'm like, no,
that's got to be a demented spirit to crawl into bed with you.
Yeah. Sure. So I didn't want to say anything to freak her out, so I shut up and I roll back over, and I'm laying there, and all of a sudden we both hear the door open to our bedroom, and one of the kids comes walking in, and I'm laying there with my eyes closed, just waiting for the push. Dad, I'm having a nightmare, or Dad, help me do the relaxation thing or whatever. And there's nothing. So I just laid there with my eyes closed. Tell them what happened, Winnie.
Well, I heard it too. I heard the door, and I heard footsteps come into our room, and I was laying on my side, and I turned and I looked up, and I saw a shadow starting from about mid bedroom where our bed is, walked right into our wall by Dave's closet.
Wow.
Just a shadow, and
No,
I was like,
So you haven't had anything follow you home yet, Shane?
No, not really. I mean, I've had weird dreams and stuff like that, but nothing that I could see physically or anything like that. We've been pretty lucky in that regard.
Shane, can you tighten the string on the tin can you're holding? Because your audio sucks, man. Hillbillies have fireworks, but obviously their cell phones are not great.
So my audio and my lighting sucks.
Yeah, no, your lighting's actually kind of cool. It's
you
very
need a
Batman.
Production crew to help.
You're like a one-horned Batman, but your audio is very muffled and chunky.
Wait, what did you call me?
A one-horned Batman.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's my cue to go.
No, that's going to be the next set of T-shirts. It's going to be #one-horned Batman. I want to see him at the next convention.
Hey, I've got to credit you for all of my designs so far, so might as well keep it
well,
up.
here's another one, because John Hawk asked me a question. He goes, "Does Shane count as an attachment?" And
hey, that's a fair point.
It is. Tabitha says Shane, which is very nice. People love you, Shane.
Hey,
well, you get back to your family.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have to go, but I love you guys and looking forward to great 2022. And
answer one question.
Yeah.
One question for them, Shane. Vicky Stone wants to know, what's the most memorable investigation or location you've been to? And it doesn't have to be on the show. Which one has been the most memorable for you, period?
Well, I'm going to go with the one on the show because it was impactful for you too. I think Franklin Castle was a memorable one because you were really affected with that. I think it really meant a lot to you on a lot of different levels. And, us being good friends too, it means a lot to me whenever you're impacted that way. So I think that was one of the most memorable.
All right, buddy. Well, stay safe, stay healthy. Hopefully you're going to be feeling better than Jamie, our COVID carrying medium here.
Oh
are you okay? She's like through the whole interview. She's like,
I don't want to hear that noise anymore.
Hey, don't say that. Don't say that. She's going to be with us next week, man.
Well, that's right. I know. We got to be careful.
You gotta
All right,
scare
buddy.
everybody off.
Yeah, have a good one. Yeah, I got to be honest with you. It's a little creepy, Jamie. You're barking. It just tell me it's a cold or allergies.
It's a cold.
All right. Good
Yeah.
God. All right. Marie, are you back with us? Marie.
I don't think so.
All right, Marie, we're going to let you go. And thank you for joining in. And if any of you are interested in joining in, like Shane or Jamie, and you want to pop in on our little interview, you certainly can. Just email me, dave@darknessradio.com. I'll send you the link. Literally hit it, follow the instructions, and it'll get you in. Oh, look at this. Love you guys. Here's to a great year.
Sorry, Shane.
Thank you, Shane. Oh, look at this. Winnie's accent is the best, by the way.
I don't hear it.
See, here's the funny thing to me, Jamie.
Oh, no.
Both my work wife Shane and my home wife Winnie both have accents neither one of them claim. Because I'll be like, when I ride with Shane, it's hilarious. When we would be driving anywhere, I always let him drive because they would give us some muscle car, Mustang or Charger, and he just wanted to get behind the wheel and Dukes of Hazzard it, right? And I'm like, whatever, buddy, you drive. But he hates roundabouts. So he'd be like, man, what the hell? What kind of morons put a roundabout? Why can't they just have a turn? And he'd like, I don't sound like that. And I'm like, you sound exact. No, I don't. And then we play back sometimes we play back the video. He goes, man, I do sound like that. And Winnie's the same thing. She's like, oh yeah, no, we're going to go out this weekend on the boats and go floating for the weekend. Yeah, no, you should join us.
But it's comforting, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
It's comforting, right? Yeah,
I know.
sure, you bet. Yeah.
Are you a resident Minnesotan, Jamie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't believe you because you gave me the wrong answer.
Yeah,
you bet.
yeah, no, you gotta say
no.
yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
That's the women here in Minnesota confuse me. It's a very confusing state for the no means no because most sentences start with yeah, no. So should I try to kiss you? Yeah, no. I'm kind of lost. Like the other night we're talking and I'm like, I told Winnie, I'm like, did you buy, some Parmesan cheese? And she's like, no, it's in the fridge. Did you just twitch your nose like Samantha and it appeared? How does that work?
Why you gotta call her out like that?
That's what this is. The New Year's is for.
I can't help it. It's part of our Minnesota cadence. I mean, we say for about in front of a lot of things. Instead of saying "oh cute," we say "oh for cute," "oh for real," "oh for fun." I don't know why we do it. We just do, and we say yeah, no. Now, if we say,
I don't know why.
No,
we
yeah.
do it. Yeah.
No, yeah means no. Yeah, no means yes. I don't ask me. I didn't start the language here.
You're just perpetrating the insanity. Carol Francie says, I use the Ghost Watch. I now have hundreds of EVPs and long conversations. The spirits often ask for prayers. The readings I've done explain they are in purgatory. What's Ghost Watch? Is that like a Mickey Mouse watch with a ghost whose hands are translucent? What is it? Is that an app?
I would think it's kind of like an app, kind of like the there's one that I use too. It's like Necrobox or something like that, or I don't know. That sounds filthy. The old Necrobox. I think you can go to jail for that in most states. Okay. I would have to look it up.
Yeah. She wanted to know for Marie. She wondered who the previous owner of that haunted chest might have been. I don't know, but maybe their spirit was still inside of it. Let's see. Jordan pops up and has a statement to make. Let's get it up there. Jordan says, met you and Shane down in Gettysburg at the Paracon this year. You guys was awesome and can't wait for the new series to come out. Also, what's your favorite location to investigate? Usually McDonald's when McRib is back. I love to investigate that.
Did you put a post about that not that long ago?
Constantly.
Every year.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah. My sister weighs in now, Shannon. She says, riding down the main road in a band of hundreds of motorcycles in Gettysburg is unreal and sends chills. Yeah, that's what I hear. It sends chills down everybody that lives their spine, and they close their doors and peek through the blinds. Look at all them bikers, honey. Get the shotgun. Something's going to go wrong. I don't know. I'm just kidding you. Vicky Stone would love to see more castles. Who wouldn't? We'd love we were really hoping Holzer Files third season we'd get to go overseas. Let me see here. Nikki Marie has a question. When did you first have your first paranormal experience? Why don't we start with you, honey? And by honey, I mean my wife this time, Jamie, just so we're clear.
Thanks for that clarification.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Honey, when did you have your first paranormal experience?
Well, my first paranormal experience was at the Palmer House. Well, I've had quite a few experiences there. I've seen shadow people there.
Okay.
I've caught some things on the SLS. I don't want to say too much for the people that are going to be going to the event this next
Jamie.
Yes.
I don't know anything about the history.
I know, and that's why I don't want to say anything. I don't want to front load you on anything. I want you to be surprised and take it all in. It's a wonderful place. I had experiences at the Oddfellows Asylum at Belvoir Winery. I caught a really cool EVP there telling me to get out twice because people didn't hear the first time, apparently. And I don't know. And then I've had experiences in our home. So I haven't gone a lot of places to investigate because with all these kids that we have, I'm just so busy. And that's a scary thing in itself. So I got to deal with that all the time. But I would say the Palmer House, and actually I've had more experiences probably in our own homes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How about you, Jamie? When did you first have your paranormal experience?
I would have to say my first paranormal experience would have to be when I was over at my friend's house. We were in middle school, and her and another friend had played with a Ouija board beforehand. And they had called some spirit in or something like that. And I was sitting in the front room, and the curtains were open, and the sunlight was coming through on the wall, and you could see like this perfect profile. And I thought somebody was standing out on the porch, and I whipped the curtain open thinking that it was one of the neighbor boys like spying on us or whatever. And there was nobody there. And we even ran out to see like, oh, is there anybody outside? Did they jump over? Nothing, type of thing. And as well as I remember spending the night there, and I remember hearing "it's time" whispered to me. I don't know for what they were. I was just like, whatever, and went back to bed. But those are probably my first experiences. As well as the most memorable one was the first class that I took to find out that I was not only a psychic, but also a medium as well, and connecting with the spirit and feeling the dizziness. And then for them to confirm, like, yeah, their grandma was complaining about feeling dizzy days before she died and stuff. So that was pretty crazy.
Well, one question I have to ask you, Jamie, is because I figured out I was an empath at a very young age, and how I found out, it was kind of a strange way I found out. When I was about 10 years old, and I had a hamster for 4 years. His name was MC Hamster. I know I just dated myself. And I just loved him. And he lived for 4 years. Well, I remember I was laying in bed one night. It was probably about 11:30, almost midnight. And I was laying in bed. I was sound asleep. And all of a sudden, I woke up out of a dead sleep in a pure panic, like something was wrong.
Yeah.
So I ran to my grandma to make sure she was okay. She was fine. She was sleeping. Checked on my sister. She was fine. My mom was sleeping. My dad was still up watching. I think he was watching Johnny Carson or Jay Leno, one of the two. I can't remember. And I went to go check on my hamster, and he had just died. He was still warm. He was still, because rodents, when they pass away, they can harden up and stiffen up pretty quick.
Yeah.
I picked him up. I know.
How do we know this? Do you have a timer? Are you like, go and 38 seconds?
Story, Dave, you're interrupting her.
No, well, they're small. They don't take time to get rigor mortis. I don't know. But no, like he was still warm and just like he had just died. And I just remember holding him and crying. And I'm like, how did I know that there was something? I had such a connection with him that I think I had woke up right when he had passed. And I remember just laying there crying. He was my first pet. So I was pretty, bummed out for a while. But
thank God you still had vanilla mice.
Oh, I love that hamster. I had 2 hamsters, and they both lived. to their expected age, 4 years.
Wow.
I took good care of those little guys.
Yeah, you did.
I guess. In my first experience, as I've said a billion times, my grandmother came to visit me after she died when I was about 2 years old. And I would relate stories back to my mom. And I have no memory of it, but I knew things I shouldn't know at that age because my grandmother was telling it to me. And then I grew up in a haunted house in Illinois, and that's kind of the whole beginning of all of this. Here's an interesting little tale. John pops up and says, I was driving to work one day, and there in my mirror was my old dog, Rufus, in his spot in the middle. That's really cool. Pet ghosts. Yeah.
I love when ghost pets come through in readings, and that it's really cool.
Yeah, actually, the night that our poor Scarlett passed away, I could feel her in the bed because I called her my butt kitty because she liked to sleep on my butt.
Yeah.
And I always, I would always feel her come up. I'm like, oh, there's Scarlett. And I would just pet her and we would sleep.
Yeah.
And I could feel her crawling in the bed because I remember feeling the little paws in the bed, and I looked down and there was no cat.
The depressions in it. Yeah.
And it was weird because our other cat, Mr. Mittens, who was close with Scarlett, he started, I know, we have such cool names for cats. Mr. Mittens started vocalizing and sounded like Scarlett.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was doing a great imitation.
Yeah. Well, he was.
He was possessed by Scarlett.
Well, she would meow, and it sounded like she was either saying hello or let me out. And so all of a sudden in the hallway, I kept hearing that "let me out" one. Why are you laughing?
Jamie, I kid you not. When we got her from the shelter, they tell you to put them in one room, so they get slowly acclimated. From that room, the door would shake, and you would hear "let me out, let me out."
No.
Let me out. Hello. Hello. Let me out. And we would and that's exactly how it sounded.
Oh
and then,
my gosh.
And then my Mr. Mittens would reach underneath the bathroom door and grab it and shake it. It was like the Night of the Living Dead trying to get in your. You couldn't poop in privacy because the cats.
Well, I know. And once seeing that, she would do that, like she would say that "let me out," even though she was like in the hallway and she just wanted to come in your room if your bedroom door was shut. So Mins was doing that the night she passed away. I'm like, this is weird. He sounds like Scarlett. I don't know if it was just in my head, but it was weird that he was vocalizing that. And he must just pick that up from her, but he was probably sensing that she was gone. It's cool when I think pets come through, and because we have such a close connection with them. There's such unconditional love that you have with them. I don't know about cats, but I know our dog loves us because we feed them. But
I would definitely say with cats too. I mean, I have 2 cats, and I mean, it's my daughter's cat, but technically he's mine now. Shh, don't tell. But because he'll follow me everywhere. So like when I was working from home for a couple of days, he'd come downstairs and sleep down there the entire time that I was working, instead of being upstairs or what his usual routine is. Like wherever I am, he is, type of thing.
Yeah, that's how Cheech is with me, and he's sitting right in front of me by my computer, just staring at me over my computer, my laptop. He's my cat who follows me around, and we call him Cheech because he looks like he's stoned all the time.
Constantly. He is the highest cat on planet Earth. Aaron Bush.
And happiest then.
Yeah. Aaron Bush asks, which location had the biggest impact on you? Whaley House for knocking me on my ass. But Franklin Castle, connecting with the spirit of that little girl who died from complications of diabetes, and having that happen on the anniversary of the day I almost lost my own daughter to complications of diabetes. So that was pretty impactful, and that we used my daughter. She recorded a video message to this little girl, and we got responses. So that was pretty impactful. Cool. Yeah, let me pull this down real quick. We do have psychic medium Tori joining us as well. Hi, Tori.
Hi, Dave. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, but I'll get better. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I missed you guys. Hi, Winnie. Hi, Jamie.
Hi.
I'm at David Shade in Gettysburg. I'm the PA head of the PA chapter of Riverside, Iowa Paranormal. And I've been stalking Dave and Shane since they were on the Holzer Files.
It's true,
and,
she does.
Yes, I do. I stalk.
She showed me the photographs of how she wants to parcel our skin into an apron. It's really weird.
Yeah. Shows you the wall of, like,
Dave,
all of
you're
the pictures
bad.
all
Will
connected
there be
together
pockets?
with wires and stuff.
Will there be pockets?
Yes.
I just wanted to say hi. It was New Year, and I figured I'd come on. You know, I
Nice.
get to talk to Winnie all the time, but I don't get to talk to you, Dave. Jamie, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
We'll lift
I'll
that
be doing-
restraining order, and you'll be able to talk to me more often.
Well, I hope next year I get to see you at Gettysburg again. If not, I'm sure we'll pass by with my events anyway.
You're
But
in
I
Iowa.
just want. Well,
Right?
no, I'm in PA.
I thought you said you're part of the Iowa.
Yeah, I'm part of Riverside, Iowa, Paranormal, but I'm PA chapter.
Just all over the place. It's okay. Just
Yeah,
accept
we have
it.
met.
Just- it's
Michelle's
fine.
the head, and Michelle has we have groups in everywhere.
God,
It's
Even in
like a
Greece.
motorcycle club, honey. They
Yeah.
You
chapter-
right? Yeah, right. That's what it is, and we are kind of like a motorcycle group because we're family. But yeah. So I'll run into you sometime, Dave.
Okay, daughter of anarchy. I know you will. Stay safe.
Well,
Stay
happy
safe.
New Year, guys.
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year.
Year.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Oh God, funny stuff. Let's see. I gotta try to scroll back into here. Well, we're getting more of these. All right, to Betty White. I guess this is
to
Betty
White.
White
Yeah,
night
okay.
on. Yeah, let's give it a quick tip.
We need a refill.
Oh boy, what are you drinking, Jamie?
Water.
Water.
I know.
I too am having a mixed drink of H's and O's.
Yeah,
My
I think
cool
Betty
ghost
White
mug.
would slap us. She's like, "What do you got? Just water in your cup?"
It's just water. It's all I had on hand.
John Covey says, I would like to take you on a tour of the ancient city of Pompeii, Italy.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That sounds very romantic, John. Thank you. Will you be buying me dinner along the way? I'm actually, just to make a quick mention, we have 2 events in Ireland that have sold out for 2022 and an event in Scotland sold out for 2022. We are going to in 2023, we just got the deal on this, Schraders of the Lost Ark. We're going to be heading to Egypt with listeners. And I think we're keeping it to about 30, 35 people. And we get to investigate the Great Pyramid.
Oh my God.
They don't know it yet. We're going to dig a tunnel from our hotel into the back of it. Through the gift shop. No, it's true. We're getting into the Great Pyramid and we get to actually investigate the Great Pyramid. So that's going to be awesome. There's going to be a lot of other cool stuff. Death on the Nile. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Oh my God. I'm so excited.
And then I'm also going to be doing Germany and Prague in 2023. So keep checking darknessevents.com for more information. Marie is back. Hey, Marie. Oh, look at this. I like the smoke coming up.
Oh, I know. I'm
You're
a
very
big girl.
No, it was very atmospheric. You should have said, Dave, I'm not smoking. That is an ethereal
I jumped
specter.
off because for some reason the volume on my computer is not very good. I was trying to maybe hook it to something else, but I can't. So here I am back.
Oh, I'm sorry you can't hear very well. Let's see. Robin Ryan, former intern Robin Binney from our show Darkness Radio. She says the Palmer House was the only investigation she ever got injured at. So you got that to look forward to, Jamie.
That's fine. I've already been choked before, so it's okay.
No, she means by a ghost.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just getting
Bubble
weird.
wrap.
Yeah. Nikki Marie, do you have any VIP openings at the Palmer House
No,
next
I'm playing
weekend?
with the audio again.
Okay, you go play with it. And let's see. Do you have any VIP openings at the Palmer House next weekend come available the weekend of? Like if someone has to cancel last minute, I believe, Nikki, there is a cancellation. Email me, dave@darknessradio.com, and I will try to connect you with the woman. I believe it's for this upcoming event, for the full event. So you'll be able to be a part of it. We sold out the full event in 24 hours for this weekend. We do have some general admission tickets still available for the weekend, which gets you into the talks and having some fun with us, but it doesn't include the ghost hunt. All right. Let me see what else we got going here. I'm trying to get through all of these. Man, there's a lot of great little nice comments popping up here. But Oh, wait. Robin follows that statement up with, I ended up getting a mystery scratch that wrapped around my arm when we were sitting in the basement running an EVP session.
Okay.
I had a crazy experience in the basement. I was talking to two women, and it was really dark. The only light was really our K2 meters and little things that we had. And we're talking about some of the experiences. And all of a sudden, from the darkness, you see this face come out of the dark. And it comes like right up in front of us. And we're all standing there, and it's just like right here. And then straight back into the dark. And the two women just grab my arms, and we're all like, ooh, and they're like, did you see that? And I got to be the big bad ghost hunter. And I'm like, yeah, happens all the time. If I'd have clenched my ass any tighter, I would have made diamonds. That's how unnerving it was. Marie, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh my God.
That's right. Hang on a second here. Curly Girl says, there is no link on YouTube where it says click the link below and join us. Curly Girl, email me, dave@darknessradio.com, and I'll send you the link and you can join us. So just go do that, dave@darknessradio.com. And then you can click that link, and I'll keep popping in on it. Marie, they wanted to know, do you know who the former owner of the haunted trunk you had was?
I was the original.
You were the original. And did you store any kind of strange antiques in there?
No, I had my college books in it.
Oh.
There was a rumor or two that a couple of men had died building the dorm. So
really?
I don't know if they were rattling around.
Yeah. That's very bizarre. Let's see. We've got Squeam Queen. Happy New Year's, guys. Love you, Dave and Winnie. Attachments, do not get me started. Take care. Yeah, she had a very strange set of circumstances. You should, if you're watching, just email me and I'll send you the link. You got to pop on and tell your story, because that was a crazy set of circumstances. Let's see. Doubleday Clemens says, I wish investigations were allowed in Bodie, California, in the stamp mill. I've seen rocks thrown, bottles break, and my little nephew could see the ghost kid who is causing all the mayhem. How rare is it truly, Jamie, to physically, even as a medium, to see the spirit, not just kind of the imprint that they give you, but to physically see a ghost?
I think it's very rare. I've only seen an apparition of one out of the side of my eye when it was running by a room. And when we were at Nopaming and we were walking through the hallways, I swear I was like looking down, and on the other side of the door, I could see like from the legs down of like these kind of like almost like zombie rotten looking legs. And that was it. Like I like froze and I walked back and they were gone, obviously, but it was that quick. So
Zombie
I think it's very,
legs.
very rare.
That is strange. Very weird.
That would be one place I'd like to investigate.
Nopaming?
Yeah, I didn't even know it existed, to be honest with you, until like about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And yeah, isn't it built a lot like Waverly?
I'm not too familiar with Waverly, but I would imagine so, because it used to be
I think it's like
to host for like TB,
I think it's more like the old Trans Allegheny is my understanding, because I think it's the same designer, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but it's been a while. John Martinez says, Happy New Year, Darkness Radio family. Thank you very much. Bubs, my 9-year-old daughter wants to know if Siri or Alexa has ever harassed you. Yes. Yes. True story.
How serious
Bubs.
Dave got. Yes.
Bubs, check this out. So this is when we were in our other haunted house my wife and I first lived in. We were renting a house about 2 blocks from here. And my kids would go to their mom's every couple of days. And then so I'm coming up and I hear her Alexa talking. I don't want to say it too loud because she's always listening. The Alexa is talking. So I open the door and, the ring lights are on when it talks. And all of a sudden it goes, bloop, bloop. And I go, Alexa, repeat. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. Alexa, you just spoke. What did you say? I said, I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, Alexa, you psychopath. But I've had a couple times where we've had that where all of a sudden it chimes. However, I did do a horrible trick one night. I did go to my daughter who'd been annoying the shit out of me. And when she was out of her bedroom, I went in and I said, Alexa, set alarm for 3 a.m. Creepy kids laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And at 3 a.m., it went on and you could hear and my daughter comes scooting out of her room. So, there is that. So, Bubs, my daughter had it coming. I'm telling you. Maria, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden you blipped off my screen and it's not allowing me to add you. It's saying that you're unable to, I can see you there, but it's not letting me add you. You can hear us. So if you want to stay in there, you can, but it says I'm unable to add. There's like a red X over you. So I don't know if maybe you're just being shy. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, we've had quite a few experiences with Alexa or especially my Echo by my bed. It's weird. It goes off on its own. It'll start playing music by itself.
Stop saying it so loud.
Sorry.
We missed it. Hold on. For those in New York and East Coast, we'll do the quick countdown. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. There you
East
go.
Coast.
I mean, we're only 1 minute and 14 seconds late for the East Coast, but I had it all set here so I could watch it. Hey, in Bucharest, Romania, it's 7:01 in the morning. Good morning, eh? Yeah, no.
Well, no, now we should have Shane call us back from the future because now he's in 2022 and we're still in 2021.
Oh, look at
See?
Speaking of Shane.
Y'all make fun of how I talk. Let me see. Let's see.
While Dave's looking at that, one night, it was when he was gone filming. I was laying in bed. I'm all by myself, and I'm crocheting and watching TV. All of a sudden, our favorite Bruce Springsteen song starts playing. So I messaged him. I'm like, did you just, start my Echo? And he's like, no, why? What's going on? And I'm like, and I played it as it's playing. I turned on my recorder. I'm like, this is what's happening. And it did it by itself. It was very weird.
That's crazy.
And it's weird because at that very moment, I was really missing Dave.
Aww.
And it just started playing.
That's crazy.
Our Bruce Springsteen song. Yeah, it was very weird. But yeah, she is like come on and said some just random stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, did you hear? Now, here's the creepy story that's broken in the news this last week.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, for people, if you want to have fun, you can ask Alexa to tell you jokes, to sing you a song, to tell you a bedtime story. And
Beatbox.
if you say, Alexa, give me a challenge, it'll say, I challenge you to do 20 jumping jacks, or I challenge you to scrapbook today.
Yeah, you hear that too? Yeah.
You said it too loud, honey. Oh, she told you to make a sandwich.
That's not really a challenge. That's more of an exciting moment for me, sandwich time. But she'll do those things. She'll chime in and tell you, well, this little girl, she'd been doing this challenge game with her mom all day. She asked Alexa for a challenge. They told her to pull her phone charger out of the wall most of the way, leaving it partly still plugged in, and to put a penny on the prongs. It tried to electrocute this little girl.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, Dave, copper's the conductive deal for electricity, so it would have just absorbed it and wouldn't have shocked her. I don't know that to be true. There's zinc in the middle. It seems like a bad idea. Shame on you, Alexa.
Well, yeah. She shouldn't even be saying that to kids to do anything with an electrical outlet.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Listen to this. JML, who used to be Bubs, somehow has changed her name. I don't know. Maybe Alexa's changing her name for her. She said hers played demonic. Hers played demonic music. That's creepy. That is weird. We did have the question, though. Do you ever have anomalies and weird paranormal things happen at home, Jamie? Or do you keep shielded so it doesn't?
I usually keep my place pretty shielded. So then that way there's not anything in there. I mean, I guess one thing that happens is I'm actually sitting in front of this homemade vanity that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I have it so then that way like the lights turn on with this little thing.
Oh,
and
fancy.
They'll randomly turn on in the middle of the night sometimes.
Okay.
How much of that is ghosts? How much of that is maybe just with the wiring though? So, but
Yeah, well, we talked about some of the stuff we've seen. Tell them, honey, tell them about the night the everything went wild at the other house.
Oh, geez.
I mean, with the paranormal. Keep it clean. This is a family show.
The fox is my favorite story. No, we can get to that later.
Now you make it sound naughty. It's not naughty. It was a true crime story, and we'll explain it. But
well, it was naughty toward the end.
Shh, come on. Boy, you're horrible at telling stories.
Okay. So you're doing Midnight in the Desert,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just about to wrap up the show. It's probably, it's after midnight, and all of a sudden, and I'm laying in bed, I'm doing my computer work, and the TV out in our living room just was blaring full blast. I'm like, and then Dave looked over at me. He goes, "Go check and make sure none of the kids are up. What the heck are they doing up?"
Yeah.
So I quietly leave the room, and I go
now,
out
wait,
there.
let me clarify. I sent her because I was still on the air.
Yes, you
so
were
I
doing
couldn't get up.
radio show.
I just wanted people to know it wasn't me. It wasn't me just like chicken shit and sending you to go deal with the
but
demon.
we heard bumps the other night. Who did you send out to go check on
Honey,
that?
I was busy playing Bubble Bop. I couldn't get up and ruin my game.
I know. Anyway, so I go out there. Nobody's out there. Our TV is on at full volume. I'm like, what the heck? So I turn it down and I turn it off.
Yeah.
As I start walking back to our bedroom, it comes back on full volume. So I turn it down, and then I start seeing the volume. As I'm turning it down, I got it down to 0, started going back up again. I'm like, so I ended up unplugging the TV. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And then our DVD player started opening and closing, and I'm like, what is going on? And I go back in the bedroom, and he's just about to wrap up the show, and then all of a sudden, bam, our power goes out.
No way.
But we were the only house that lost power.
No, that's crazy.
And I looked on our electric company's website. There was no reported outages, nothing. And then it just came. It was out for like 3 minutes and then came back on.
Oh, that's interesting that it's 3. It was 3 minutes as well.
Yeah, so it was just like, what was that? And I think you were talking about egregores on that episode of Midnight in the Desert.
Yeah. No, egregores was one when we heard the bang against the house and we lost all of our power. Everything shut off like halfway through the show.
Oh, yeah. It's happened a couple times, especially when he was doing Midnight in the Desert, when he was talking about really creepy things.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I've never had any issues with my TV doing that, and that's the only time it happened. I don't know why. It was very bizarre, and I'm like Dave. I'm a skeptical believer. I try and find a logical reason for something happening, and I can't explain it. And I know electronics. I used to be an electronic technician.
Yeah,
and I don't know what would cause that at all.
That's
we've
crazy.
never had that happen, but
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we have a question here. Jose Dello says, I always wanted to know, is there a way for someone to find out if they are trans? What?
She like froze.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Everything glitched out.
All
and
right.
Now it's back.
Jose wants to know, is there a way to find out if they are a trance medium? I mean, I guess if somebody steps into you and you start channeling them, that's one definite clue. But is that something that you're open to, Jamie, or no?
It's something that I've dabbled with or thought with anyways. To me, that's kind of a fear that I have, is a spirit overtaking your body and being in control. I'm always one that likes to be in control type of thing. So, but I know of individuals that can do that. There has been times where I've more blended with a spirit, where you connect with them so much, you can I can emanate some of their mannerisms, like maybe their posture, or they might pick up on their accent or something like that, and that can come through. But I have never allowed a spirit to fully take me over. And I've seen that happen before, just because, again, I don't know. Sometimes you got to be really careful, I think, because sometimes you don't know who you're letting in. So that's the part that scares me with that.
Let's get somebody else to weigh in on this, because we have another psychic medium in the lurch, and for some reason your names aren't showing up here. I don't know what's happening. So what's your name and where are you from?
John Covey. I'm from Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Hey,
How are y'all
John
doing?
Covey.
Hi.
Doing well. Thanks for joining us. So what do you think? Is there a way to tell if you're a trance medium? Do you have to go through special schooling or training to figure out if you've got that ability?
I don't know. It's really interesting. I mean, you hear about the different concepts, of course, with Hans Holzer and with working with his cases, of course, but I don't know. For myself, it does seem a whole new sort of, category to learn. Taking control of your own body, it's a little difficult. And, for someone, like myself, I don't like giving up control to something that I, don't necessarily know what's going on, or I don't know if it's really is someone that is a spirit. So I don't know. It's a whole new whirlwind, but I'm assuming you can probably learn it somewhere.
Yeah, there was a mediumship class that I was taking, and that was part of the thing that we just kind of briefly talked about. We didn't go into it though, was that physical mediumship, such as that they did back then and with Hans Holzer's, of like how they can get the ectoplasm coming out with the pictures and all that kind of stuff. And that's more of like the physical mediumship, and you can go through training and do that. And it's really important to do that though, just because from what I heard is like if that gets interrupted and that spirit or that ectoplasm isn't like back in your body or something, that can have very detrimental aspects to that psychic medium.
Ugh, no bueno.
Yeah.
No
so
bueno.
Definitely go through training or have some really strong mentor before you kind of dabble in that stuff, I think.
If that's not scary enough to think about, we get this comment. Nerd Wasteland says, I remember having a Teletubby doll as a kid that sounded like a demon when the batteries were dying. It woke me up in the middle of the night a few times, scaring me to death. And we have that audio. Here it is. Tinky Winky, I want Tubby Toast. Bring me the Tubby
I was like legit ready to listen to it, and then just Dave started talking.
You are the worst. You are the. What do you mean? That was the actual audio, Jamie.
No, it was.
Jamie,
are you trans medium?
I can't take that. If she's obviously lost her mind. Oh, is she back now, Jamie? Trust me, I'm the host, Jamie. That's the actual audio. Are we agreed? Okay. Yeah, no? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Don't put me in timeout again, okay?
John, obviously, we may have to replace COVID Carrie over here with you for the next event. The COVID brain is affecting her. She's questioning the host if that was the actual audio or not from the demonic Teletubby. John, you're a medium. How long have you been a medium?
I've had this gift ever since I was very young. But within the last at least 4 to 5 years, I've truly taken that initiative to try to help as many people as I can. First with different cases, and through my paranormal investigations through my own team here in Pennsylvania. But now privately doing private readings for at least 2 to 3 years now.
Very cool. Have you ever had a moment that you thought, oh, fuck it, I'm out. I don't need this anymore. How do I close the shutters to my psychic abilities?
There was actually, I tell this story to a lot of individuals. There was a private reading I was doing, and I won't, talk about specifics because it's personal information, but it was this woman, and her husband had, he was trying to come through, but one of my rules is if somebody wants to step forward, I have to see them. I have to see them as who they were, either in life or see their energy. And he wouldn't show himself to me, and I asked why. And then he showed me a gun. And so I explained to her, I'm like, he's showing me a gun. I don't necessarily know. He's not talking. Long story short, she was explaining to me a situation towards his passing, which they were driving one night. They had this really bad argument. They were driving home, and he decides to pull into some area. And I said, there's a body of water. And she's like, there was a pond right nearby. And he decided to try to do a homicide-suicide situation. And obviously for himself, it was successful, but for her, it was not. And that made me that was probably one of the darkest readings I've ever done, and had to work through, but it definitely makes me question.
With that said, was he apologetic, or was he still kind of dark and broken?
He was very, very timid when he was trying to connect. So I feel as though the reason why he was trying to come forward is saying that he was apologetic towards the situation because she's dealing with complications from it now in the physical life, that I feel when he was trying to connect, he was simply just trying to make light of the situation, even though it's a very traumatic situation.
Wow. Well, speaking of strange and traumatic situations, Felicia is on with us now. And John, you're welcome to stay as well. We'll keep bandying back and forth. Felicia, you have a very small picture. I don't know what's going on. Your imagery is but
how can I fix it? Because I know nothing about this.
Can you flip your phone sideways?
Flip my phone. Oh, yes, I will try that. And if I lose you, I'm really sorry because
when she does it, everybody roll to that direction and scream.
Yep, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh!
Okay. Is that that's her?
Yeah,
okay.
You go.
I'm gonna do a balancing act here.
Okay.
I am so sorry.
Nope,
okay.
You're doing
we're just gonna like, oh my God. Try not to swear.
Yeah, God damn it. This is a family show.
Okay.
All right. So Felicia has been a friend for many years. Felicia has been at the what the hell is the name of the thing here? The horror movie convention.
The hell of the name of the thing is called Crypticon.
Yes, Crypticon.
And
I'm getting old. You have to forgive me. Crypticon.
That's okay.
It's a paranormal horror movie convention circuit that takes place.
And music.
And music, yes, and Felicia is a musician as well. But we met 16 years ago for the first Crypticon when Darkness
1952, 1955,
somewhere in there, yeah,
way back.
But we've kept in touch, and you had a very strange set of circumstances. So let our mediums tune into this and hear this story, and so that you get a little bit more. I don't know how to do this. There's some way to kind of bring you to the foreground, and I got to figure out how to do it. But you go ahead and and talk and start telling us your strange story.
So my grandmother is originally from. I'm not going to say direct from Villisca, Iowa, but she is from that area. And growing up, the family just always heard about very creepy, eerie, dastardly things that would go on with the residents in that neck of the woods of Iowa. And I got the opportunity in October of 2020 to spend the night at Villisca. And having heard about it all my life, I had just always been a little wary of, not afraid of going, but I felt this, for lack of a better word, connection that if I went, I know that I'm going to hear from things. I know I'm going to experience something, almost kind of this anticipatory feeling of like, if I open up the door a little bit, I know something's going to come through. But I kept my expectations we all did, my husband, our friends. But when we got there and we just did a calling of the corners just to say, we are here to not do any harm. We're here to just learn and to listen. And we want to be respectful. And they took the invitation. And it was just from about 5 p.m. until 9:30 the next morning. It was a lot of activity. Aside from just getting a lot of EVPs that were very frightening, very harrowing to hear. We got the slamming of the doors and the whispers in the kitchen and footsteps on the heavy floor when you're trying to sleep in the living room there. But what happened to me, I just did not expect it. I took home an attachment. I'd never really experienced anything that intense before for that long. I had a very minor experience at the Mounds Theater several years ago. But this was, I just had never experienced this before. On the drive home the next morning, I just would get flashes of images. Old timey, we'll call it, flashes of images of just pictures of, as if I was remembering something from way back when. And when we got back home, I slept about 12 hours the first night. I slept about 10 hours a second. Slept about 9 hours the third. But slowly over the course of those 3 days, my cat was freaking out. The lights above the kitchen was flickering on and off. That hadn't happened before. I started to feel like I was constantly being watched. And I had my office chair shake when I was trying to work. I would suddenly break down and start crying. And it came to a head when I said, okay, you talk to me through EVPs a lot at the house. I gotta know. And so I went into my bathroom, closed the door, was by myself, and turned on the recorder and just said, I just need to know if there's something here with me or someone here with me. Did you come to follow me home from Villisca? And I got a reply. It's very, very faint, but it just says something, something, something. Hello, test, Villisca, Iowa. And it was just something I had never experienced before. And I think my husband was concerned. I immediately, I wanted to reach out to you, Dave. I was a little apprehensive. I wasn't sure, like, oh, you hear this stuff all the time. So I didn't want to bore you with it. But I talked to a couple friends who had done a lot of investigations, and they suggested doing the cleansing with sage, things like that. So we did do that over the course of the next few days, and it did eventually let up. But I gotta say, I do, and my husband agrees, we do feel like our apartment is, we're just using, for lack of a better word, portal.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of didn't talk to you about that. They
always leave something out.
Sorry. Well, it's like you deal with this stuff. You know, this is nothing. But we did have some of those apps of kind of like an Ovilus app, and just not trying to provoke, just would turn it on now and then over the past like 8-9 months and just say, hey, how's it going? Anyone here? Things like that. And that Ovilus will be going for hours of different responses of male, female, old, young, lots of references to war, being imprisoned, justice. It's just a myriad of things that we get.
You know, it may not be that it's a portal. It just may be that you draw, and I can't speak to this. I'm not a medium. John and Jamie are. Do you think she's more like a candle in the wind over here? It's drawing these spirits to her, or is that dark vacuous square behind her shoulder the portal to hell?
Other side.
Yes, Jamie. What do you think?
I would have to say, like, as I kind of tune in and stuff like that, is that a part of it.
Do I want to know?
Huh?
Do I even want to know?
Well, that's where it's like, yeah, you gotta. Okay, so a big part of it is that, yes, you are like this light that they see, and you are obviously open to it, and so sometimes I feel that sometimes we have those experiences to teach us things, right? Type of thing. So maybe that thing that followed you home, it was obviously trying to communicate with you, trying to get across something. There was something you learned from that experience, whether that was like trying to have more of that awareness of what is it like, what's your baseline, and what does it look like when something follows you home, type of thing, and how much of that is not. I also get to, and that's a good question that Tabitha had asked too, is about closing the quarters and making sure that, like, all of, you know, if you raise that energy in that circle, create that portal type of thing, or that energy, and you play within that, to making sure that you obviously close it down and, you know, bring that back down to Mother Earth and close that and stuff. And the reason why I was kind of pulling back a little bit is because I get the sense that there's a part of you that wants this though. Like there's a part of you that wants this stuff. Like you're intrigued by it, but yet you're scared by it, type of thing. And that's where I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to say this or not, but there's a part of you that wants that type of thing.
And I agree. And I'm definitely not shy about that. There is a part of me that feels connected to it. Kind of always has, but when you finally get that confirmation, kind of like, no, really? Okay, is this really happening? And yeah, it's those big ticket questions that you kind of almost fear being answered if you do step boldly into it. Yeah, there's going to be some trepidation because you get those big adult questions answered that we've speculated about all of our lives, and yeah, that can be intimidating stuff.
JJ Sins wants to know: did this take place at the Villisca axe murder house?
Yeah, sorry, I thought I said Villisca.
Well, it's an entire town, so I think people are like, well, did it happen in the corner at 31 Flavors or at the? Let me play this for you guys if you're interested. This was sent to us years ago from one of our listeners. They were a paranormal team in Villisca, Iowa, and they had experiences there, and this is the EVP that their team caught. This is real. If I can get it to play. Come on. Play for me. Play Misty for me. What is going on here? Hold on.
Why did you say it like that?
Because I'm trying to...
Because he knows how much I like Jessica Walters.
Hang on. Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is it. All right. Okay, here we go. I know that's not the best way to listen to it, and I apologize. I don't know. Could you guys hear it pretty clearly?
Yeah.
Was it a woman screaming?
It sounds either like a woman or one of the children
It
screaming.
sounded like
The Villisca Axe Murder House is named as such because a family was brutally butchered in that house. And they were doing EVP work, and that was it. I'll let you guys talk for a second about that. And John, I wanted you to weigh in on what Felicia had to share as well. I'm going to get a better speaker to share this with. So I'll be right back.
I just wanted to say that the reason I was asking that is because it sounded very similar to the most disturbing EVP that I got was during the witching hour. A woman screaming, and we didn't hear it. It's not a Class A where you hear it with your own ears, but when we played it back at about 3:15, it's a woman screaming, and it's very it goes on for
that's crazy
several seconds, and that sounded very similar to what it was, but it was the most disturbing for sure.
We'll play it again. This is the Children in a Panic is what the name of the EVP is. Okay. And this is from the Villisca Axe Murder House. I wish I remembered the name of the team. It was literally sent to us, I think, about 10 years ago. Yeah, that's one of the more terrifying EVP I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So, John,
to me, it definitely sounds like a little kid that was.
Yeah.
that was crying, you know, and it's like almost like at this image of they were being scolded actually for something or whatever, and they were like something with their leg or something like that. And it's like I get a pain in my back. I don't know why, like right here.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's kind of what I was feeling.
The pain in your back?
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost towards like the middle, the left side.
Correct. Yeah.
But
that's where it feels. Yeah.
And it's, as I'm trying to like listening to that, it makes you sit there and you think the horror that they experienced, and it's almost like I keep feeling like I'm trying to wake up, and I wake up and it's like I'm reliving this residual sort of nightmare.
And that's what happens. I mean, the house, like I was telling you, Dave, when I first wrote you about it, the house wakes up at night and it replays what happened nightly.
Yeah.
From the
explain that. Yeah.
Yeah. From the footsteps starting in the attic, going all the way down the stairs and coming into the rooms. I mean, it just is on a cycle.
Oh, not to make you feel weird, Felicia, but Robin wants to know, what is it in the northwest corner of the bedroom of that apartment? Because she's seeing something move around behind you. So good for you.
It's a mirror. It's a mirror.
You just keep telling yourself that.
It's a portal.
Skeptic Psychic says, have you ever gotten EVPs when recording your show? I have a small podcast and we think we've gotten about 3 since we started. Yeah, we have. I've captured a lot of creepy shit through the years. One of the worst was we were talking to Betty Andreasen Luca, I believe her name is, and she is a very famous UFO experiencer and abductee. And she was talking and her husband was on the other line. They were in 2 separate rooms talking, and she got done talking. And just as her husband starts to speak, I heard something. And he's talking. I go, hold on a second. His name is John, I think. And I'm like, John, hold on. Betty, did you just say something? And she's like, no. And I said, did you maybe mumble or mutter? And she goes, no. And I looked at Tim through the glass at the radio station, and I'm like, isolate that area. Go back. There's something there. Go ahead, John. Finish your story. And then he finishes the story. We go to break. Tim goes, Dave, I'm looking at the wave file. There's nothing there. I'm like, man, I'm telling you, I heard it. So he cut it and zoomed in, and sure enough, there's one little blip. And he turns it on and ups the volume, and you hear this woman's voice as John just starts to talk. You hear this woman's voice go, I'm going to kill you.
Oh.
And we were all like, what? And we played it back. I'm like, normally people contact the show all the time because, you know, somebody might have coughed in the background or sniffed, or made a noise. And somebody's like, Dave, when you were talking, I suddenly heard, rah, 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 rah. Well, it was my stomach, right? So it's not demonic.
I love taking those during investigation.
Yeah.
That was Dave's stomach.
Yes. And we get a lot of those. We get a lot of those during an investigation. And in Minnesota, this is one thing you guys are going to find out that are coming here. When we're in the basement of the Palmer house and it's cold, there is this artifact in the EVP that you only get to hear in cold weather states. This is Dave, Felicia, Jamie, John, Winnie in the basement of the Palmer House Hotel. If there's somebody here, can you please give us a sign of your presence? Can you tell us what your name is? And everybody, and then you play it back and it's like, is there anybody here? Yes. What's your name? John. Right? It's just a bunch of people. So you've got to be very cautious with that. But anyway, we heard that, played it back for them. They were wigged out. We've had EVP throughout the years come through, and people will point it out to us. But we were talking earlier about technology and the Alexa picking up on its own and doing weird stuff. Well, here's a cool piece of audio from the Holzer files. It never made it on air. When we did the episode, The Devil in Texas, right? There was, we went to visit this woman who was dealing with this haunting. And she goes, I've got to tell you, I found this really creepy audio on my phone one morning when I woke up. There was this message, and there was no call in. It was just this voicemail. And I'm like, okay, well, let me hear it. And I've heard a lot of people make those claims. So here it is. That's all she caught. Now, what I hear is leave her with us. Oh. It's listen. So then I'm like, something sounds weird about that audio. And I asked Tim, I go, Tim, reverse that audio for me. I want to hear it reversed. The voice says she'll never leave in reverse. It's creepy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see, Psychic John. What the fuck is that all about? Look at the willies. Look, can you guys see? Look at my
I
arm.
know.
Look at the willies.
Yeah,
My
that's
arm hair
goosebumps
standing
for sure.
straight up on edge.
Hella goosebumps.
Yeah.
John, what do you make of that, John?
I don't know. I mean, obviously there must be something that is a little on the darker side in a way. Maybe not so much so a malevolent, entity, but someone who's trying to not necessarily, have anybody else around and trying to intimidate, to scare either.
Yep.
Oh, I'm chills still.
Yeah, that's creepy. Jamie, you hear that? What do you make of it?
I guess I would want to know more a little bit about the story of where was she at? What was going on?
She was in her home. She had a trailer home in, gosh, I can't remember. Shane, if you're listening, text me and remind me. I want to say it was like Alabama or someplace. The episode is called The Devil in Texas because we go follow up on a Dr. Hans Holzer case that started in Texas with somebody dealing with a demonic force who unfortunately succumbed to it and took their own life eventually. We ended up going and that wasn't an EVP. If you're listening to the audio, that was Jamie apparently talking to a cat.
Oh, I was letting my cat in because he was at the door, like what we were saying.
I just know somebody's going to be like, during that, when you're talking, I suddenly heard this girl voice go, come on.
Come on.
So she was either rushing me to get through the story or asking for her cat to sit on her lap. But she was, she's like in Alabama or Mississippi or some crazy ass state. I can't remember offhand, but that's where our story took us. It was a contemporary story with the supernatural slant, but she was having all kinds of really weird things happen. And then she just, like I said, woke up the one morning that was on her phone in her voicemail, but there was no call in. There was a timestamp and it was that night while she was sleeping. And leave her with us and then she'll never leave. Just absolutely freaky.
That is very freaky. And I mean, I guess I don't know what to say about that, but that's definitely an very interesting piece of evidence. And it would be even more interesting to see, like, did she bring some sort of item into her home? Is there something with the ground? Is there something that she went to?
You'll have to watch the episode.
Like, what is it?
You'll have to watch the episode and find out it was season 1 of the Holzer Files, Jamie. If you'd watched it, you'd know all the answers to those questions.
I remember that episode.
Plus. Thank you, John.
I remember. I can see that. I see the house. It was a white color.
Is there bad connection, Jamie? What happened to Jamie? John, I'm glad you're here. You obviously. Oh, there she is. Damn it, she just keeps showing up. This is. I'm going to put myself up there, Felicia, if you don't mind. It just helps me keep track of everybody quicker.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Most people are above me anyway. Because
so
I'm 5'2". 5'2".
I'm 5'3", so I get it.
I look up to you then too.
Yeah.
All right. So do you guys want to hear another? This is an EVP that did not make it on the Holzer Files at the Queen Mary. This is one of my favorite. Yeah. So we were in the Royal Salon, which at one time had been used as a medical quarters because during wartime, their medical facilities would get overrun and there'd been an accident. And Cindy started picking up on a very dark former doctor that had been there. She believed that maybe even the doctor had tormented or tortured some of these spirits or some of these POWs. And as we're talking, and we weren't even in in scene so much. We were just kind of talking about all the shit she was picking up on. We start hearing banging around the room. And we were the only people on the ship. It was us and our little core group of filming, and we're all in the room looking at each other, and we start hearing this. So I'm running an EVP, and we get 2 EVP back to back. The first one, hang on, I'll play this for you. So this is in the Royal Salon with Colonel Mustard and the lead pipe. Let's see if I can get it to play. I don't know. It's what was that voice? What did I just hear?
I don't know.
What? Oh, my cat.
Maybe.
Was that a kid? That sounded like a child.
Yeah.
I thought it was something that played on your phone.
Yeah.
I want to play.
Yeah.
Play.
That's Oscar.
That's Oscar. He's a
Meow.
grouch.
Hi, boo-boos.
Hello. Hi. See, he talks too.
Yeah.
Where is the dang thing here? Hold on one second. There we go. I got to go back into a different version of it. For some reason, my phone is not being compatible with my system. All right. So here we go. Here's the first EVP.
We are in the rail salon and we are hearing what sounds like thumping and banging in either the halls or the walls around us.
So you can hear this voice right after I get done.
Yeah.
And it says, I killed them.
We are in the rail salon and we are hearing what sounds like thumping and banging in either the halls or the walls around us.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
we
really
play
good.
that back. Shane heard that in live and seen. He's like, dude, it said I killed them. I'm like, what? And we play it back, and sure enough. So this is our part 2.
You said you killed them. Who are you? Did you enjoy killing those patients?
Did you guys hear the response? So I asked, did you enjoy killing those patients? And the same male voice goes, yes, I did.
Wow.
You said you killed them. Who are you? Did you enjoy killing those patients?
Wow.
Yeah. So we had some really messed up moments. Let me play one other fun little EVP for everybody. This is one of my favorites because it involves my daughter. When I first got my DR60, Panasonic DR60 in season 2 of the Holzer Files, which is kind of the holy grail of recorders, gets really crazy EVP. I was testing it because I'd read all these theories. So I tested it in my hotel room, and I'm like, just talking out loud, and I'm in a brand new hotel. So it's not like an ancient Indian burial ground. No reason for this to be like that. And I see if I could find the original response, but probably not at this point. Oh yeah, here's the second one. So I get a response. It says my name, and I call Shane down to the room, and I'm like, Shane, you got to hear this. And I played. He goes, bullshit, man, you did that. I'm like, no, I swear to God, this. He goes, do another one. I'm like, all right. So this is the response. You hear it mock me when I ask if it can say my name.
Hear anything? If you're still with me, can you say my name? Can you say Dave?
It just starts laughing at me in that dark kind of
Yeah, it started
sinister laugh.
Hear anything? If you're still with me, can you say my name? Can you say Dave?
And Shane goes, what the hell? I'm glad this is in my room. That's bitch.
I like how you're in the accent there.
Oh, I'm just I do it as I hear it. So then I'm telling my daughter Pacey about it, and I'm in my hotel room, and I'm telling her, she's like, no, your hotel room's haunted. I go, I think so. Do you want to do an EVP session? So we're doing like a Zoom session like this so we can see each other, and I'm looking right at the camera, and I hold up the recorder and I ask some questions, play it back. I get no response. There's nothing. So I said, why don't you ask some questions? And she goes, okay. So what's cute is you hear her start, and then she goes, Dad, I don't know what to ask, or I don't know what to say. And then there's a pause, and you'll hear a whispery response. And I'll let you guys hear it the first time through, and then I'll tell you what we got.
I don't know what to ask, Dad. How old are you?
So right before she asks, how old are you?
Yeah.
Did you hear what the response was, Jamie, by any chance, or no?
No, I
it's
heard
kind
that
of hard.
it said something though, but I didn't hear it
Right.
quite clearly.
She goes, I don't know what to ask. And there's a
Yeah.
pause, and then you hear this male voice go, a question.
Are you sure that wasn't you?
I don't know what to ask, Dad. How old
Yeah.
are you?
No, it was not me. And
It
the
almost
reason we
sounded
knew is
like you.
I'm holding the recorder like that, and I'm staring at the camera.
Yeah.
My mouth isn't open. I'm not talking. I just wanted to be in this moment with her, and she
Yeah.
loved it. So she freaked out. That was a great little.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just ribbing you. I was just ribbing you.
Yeah, sure. I see how you are.
Yeah.
Just picking on me. Yep. So that was our some of the fun little bits we did that didn't make it on Holzer Files, and some of the weird stuff we got out there. I figured we'd play some EVP since we've got it going. Hey, we're about 16 minutes away from ringing in the new year. I'm glad to see so many lonely people here with us tonight as we're all locked in our home with nothing better to do. So I appreciate it. No, it's not a bad thing. It's a great way we're all coming together. We have something to do tonight. We're a community. And again, if you want to join in on the fun, email me, dave@darknessradio.com. That's dave@darknessradio.com. And I will send you the link, and you can join in and be like any of the five of us on here. Not Marie. She is just listening in the side room. Off to the side listening, and it will not allow me to bring her back into the deal, but I'm letting her stay there because she can hear it. We love you, Marie. We see you. I see her there. I know you're listening. Let's see what other questions we have going on here. Let me see. I know we've been doing a lot, so I've got to scroll down to the bottom. Oh, that's nice. Glenn Wilson says, thank you for doing this. This really brightened my night. Glenn, we're more than happy to be a part of this and have you here with us. So thank you very much. Let's see. Nerd Wasteland says, JML, Winnie the Pooh must have many demons in his belly. Yes. I don't know what that means. My belly. Oh, we'll go back to this other story, and this will be another audio daily double I can play for you guys. So one night we're doing the show, and it's a Tuesday. I know this because I'd done True Crime Tuesday earlier in the day. And, I'm a true crime guy. Detective Dave, that should be my nickname. And while I'm on air, what are you all fucking laughing at? Detective Dave, stop it. So,
hey, Chief,
this is what's happening. It's son of a bitch. You guys are horrible. I got to pull this up real quick. You guys are horrible to me. And,
Double D.
Trust me. When he asked me what I got at the grocery store, he sticks a light in my face.
That's right. Where were you? So anyway, here's the deal. Oh, finally, Curly Girl is joining us. We'll bring her in for this. Curly Girl, welcome.
Thank you.
It's Tuesday. And this is like 4 years ago. I'm doing my Midnight in the Desert show live, and during it, all of a sudden, we start hearing a blood-curdling scream come from outside. And it is screaming, help! Help! And I'm like, what the flip? And I mute my microphone, and I turn to Winnie, and I go, what the hell is that? She goes, maybe one of the kids is having a nightmare. And I go, go do a check. I'm on the radio. So she gets up, and this blood-curdling scream continues. But as Winnie's moving her way through the house, she can't hear it anymore. And she can't hear it in any of our kids' rooms, and they're all sound asleep. She comes back in. She's like, there's nothing. We start hearing it again. This blood-curdling woman scream, help! Help! And I tell her, call the goddamn cops because some woman is being bludgeoned to death on our street. Mm-hmm. So she calls the cops. Cops come flying out, find nothing. I'm frustrated. A little bit later, we start hearing the scream again. I'm like, call the cops. She calls them again, and they're like, we did a drive-through. We didn't. And I'm like muting my microphone and tell, no drive-through. Get out of your goddamn car, you lazy ass. Somebody's being killed. You don't just drive through. Somebody's being beaten to death and dragged into a backyard. And then I unmute. Yeah, and we're back with Midnight in the Desert and blah, blah, blah. And so this whole time, somebody is being murdered outside my house. So finally, at the end of the show, I sign off. I'm telling my listeners what's happening. I sign off for the night. I call the cops. They're like, we're sending a police officer there now. And I'm like, I will be outside waiting for them. And I grab a baseball bat, and I'm going to go out till I get to the door and realize how dark it is outside and somebody's out there murdering a woman. I'd better just stay in here with the baseball bat to protect my family. Yeah, that's why I was staying inside. Anyway, finally the cop pulls up, and I go walking out, and he's like, Mr. Schrader. I go, yeah. And he goes, okay, what's going on? And I tell him, and he goes, how long have you lived here, Mr. Schrader? And I'm like, I've been living here a few years now, and I'm a bit of an amateur detective. I have a radio show called True Crime Tuesday. You might be familiar with it. And he said, no, I work for a living. So anyway, I go, this woman is being brutally murdered, man. You just got to get out of the car. You can't just drive down the street. And he goes, listen, you're new here. We're kind of we're in the suburbs, but we're kind of a rural suburb area. And I just want you to go do something. I want you to go to YouTube and look this sound up. And I'm like, no, that's not it. This is a woman screaming. And he goes, just look it up. He tells me to look up a fox mating call. So here we go. Let's see if we can get this. All right, here we go. Mating call. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Foxes are assholes. All right.
Yeah. For real.
I guess we know what the fox says now.
Yeah, the fox was bah, bah. That's what the fox does. So it's crazy. That was what we heard. And actually, the one we heard sounded like help. That just sounded like a blood-curdling scream. We legitimately heard what sounded like help, but the other audio I found does have a fox screaming, and it's screaming help.
The Fisher cat's really bad too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fisher got to move back to the city.
Baby screaming.
Yes.
Like they're being hacked to death. It's horrible.
I was living in Orland Park, Chicago. My girlfriend and I had a basement bedroom and woke up at 3:00 in the morning to what sounded like a baby being hacked to death with a chainsaw. And I'm like, what the hell? And I'm terrified. And I pull back the curtains and there's 2 cats screwing right in front of my window. And I'm like, how is this? How do cats have so many kittens? It sounds painful. This cat, this female cat was like looking right in my window going, yeah. And it was like this screaming baby bludgeoned noise. It was horrific. It was absolutely traumatic and horrific.
I know. They make them.
I don't think Fisher cats are actually a cat. Oh, sorry.
Oh, what's a Fisher cat then?
Oh, a
This
Fisher
is like a
cat
Minnesota.
is
No.
in New England anyway. We have Fisher cats, and they, what do they look like? Go ahead.
They kind of like a weasel or like a
a little bigger and weirder and horrible.
Weirder.
Bigger and weirder and horrible. That was really what it used to say on my dating profile.
Or like a badger. They're kind of like a badger, I think.
Or like a wolverine.
Yeah, but they're really
badger.
Yeah, they're just really vicious. And when they even just running across the field, you'll hear them, and you'd swear, call the cops that something horrible is happening. And but once you get used to it, it's like, it gives you the creeps up your spine. But it just, at least you know what it is then.
Yeah.
But
it's New Year's Eve, almost on the verge of 2022, and we're talking about screwing cats.
Well,
and Fisher Kings.
Somebody should be getting it on New Year's Eve, I guess. So why not Fisher cats?
We're a crazy bunch.
So now that we have you on here, Curly Girl, I know you were having trouble trying to get it. Boy, Curly Girl, I feel like we're back in the MySpace days when we only knew each other by Dave Zilla and Curly Girl and Button Down Shirt Guy. Great names. But Curly, what did you have to share with us tonight? Do you have a cool story or a song you want to sing?
My real name is Kirsten. And I have a couple questions actually. Well, one is if you ever considered doing much internationally, because I was having some issues with the paranormal that just had me ready to commit myself to the state asylum, and reached out on the internet and came across a gentleman in England named Mark, who and I was going to England just to tootle around a little bit, and wound up meeting Kieran O'Keefe, and I had no idea they were in this paranormal field. I didn't know anything about that. Anybody other than myself had these experiences, and so round and about, I've met. He introduced me to someone right here in Boston. Well, I'm not in Boston. I'm in New Hampshire, but Ron Kolick, and he was doing a show with Cal Cooper and Richard Felix, and so I'm sitting here going around. Everybody knows each other, and it's like I'll be dipped. So, had you given any thought to international productions?
What do you mean? On my podcast, I've been talking to paranormal enthusiasts all around the world, from Australia to France, Germany, England, you name it. I've also done, every year I do a foreign trip with listeners, and we've gone to England twice, Germany and Prague, Romania 3 times, Scotland, Ireland, Australia. We have 2 in Ireland and 1 in Scotland coming up this year. And in 2023, we're going to Egypt for Schrader.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. And then we're going
that sounds cool.
Prague. So yeah, we do stuff all over, and yeah, I know Richard Felix. I'm buddies with Richard and Cal Cooper and Kieran O'Keefe. So yeah, it is a very small world, but I wouldn't want to paint it as as Stephen Wright once said.
I'm sorry, honey. You just said yeah, no.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I'm glad you said it because I was going to say something.
Is she gonna point
You
it
heard
out?
it too. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but mine was more in the sense of yeah, no. All right, anyway, so what was your other question besides will we do international? We've done international. We'll continue to do international, I hope.
Oh, good. And forgive me, I don't get to catch the show all the time, just as I can, and I wasn't aware of that. I just wasn't sure if there was any kind of combination for television production.
Well, yeah.
Since what's his name? Chris Fleming was doing Help My House is Haunted, and I thought, man, we got to get together more often.
I'd love to. I mean, Chris Fleming and I just did a shock doc together that's on Discovery Plus right now called The Curse of Lizzie Borden. And that's on there. But yeah, I'd love to go overseas and film an episode or two of a show. But there's a lot of the networks are very tight with the money and they want to keep it close to home and keep beating the same dead horses of locations over and over and over. I would love to go overseas and see other places and actually investigate them, not do like Most Haunted nonsense. I would like to go in and do full thorough investigations like Chris does. So he's got a great show, and he's doing some other shows too. So he'll keep watching. Chris is the guy that keeps breaking that boundary and going over there. Yeah. So
I chat with him from time to time.
Awesome.
The thing that kind of haunts me, literally, is the Hat Man thing.
Yes.
I was living on the other side of the state, and that was my first encounter. It was quite alarming. And in my bedroom, which was horrible because I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop. When's that thing coming back kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I've been kind of sensitive most of my life, but it really kicked into high gear when I was about 14 or so.
Okay.
And but at any rate, my concern is that I moved into this other house here on the other side of the state, and final day of moving all my crap in, and I'm talking with the movers outside over here, which you can't actually see. And we had finished up and we were just chit-chatting, and I see this man, and I just see a black figure in a top hat go walking by the window from the living room into the dining room. And I thought, in my usual thing, it's like, you did not just see that. You just didn't. Just shut up. You didn't see a thing. Except that then the mover guy said, you just saw that man walk across, didn't you? And I said, and I had to admit I did. And then I'm in here by myself, So I'm just like, oh man, does anybody else? Because my first Hat Man had a fedora, and the second Hat Man had a top hat, and I'm like, what's up with this?
I want to know why
things following me around.
I want to know why people keep complaining about dapper dressed ghosts, because I think the problem in the world today is when we all stopped wearing hats, so did our common courtesy went out the window. So I think the Hat Man ghosts have just got a bad press release, and they need better PR. I don't know that they're necessarily darker. There's an actual contingent that believes that they are.
I meant visually, the jet black, but blacker than black, blacker than the dark.
There is a contingent that believes that those are actually undercover agents, and that the hat is somehow a cloaking device that keeps them from being completely visually seen. So it's funny to me. That's like, so it's like, get smart. We've got to put on the top hat to be kind of visually impaired for people, right? Oh, would you show up as a black figure and the hat figure? I've talked to people that have encountered Hatmen, and it's not been a big thing. And then I know Heidi Hollis does a lot of research and has written a lot on this, and she feels that it is much more demonic in nature. I don't know. It's strange. I don't know why it would be a demon, just because it's wearing.
I don't know about demon. I don't know about demon. All I can tell you is that the first time I saw this thing, I thought it was one of my kids coming in the room. Are you guys at New Year's yet? No, you got 2 minutes.
No, we've got 1 minute.
1 minute. All right. If I talk too much. No, the vibe coming off of that. At first, I thought it was a kid, one of my own kids coming in the room. I felt nothing hostile. And then when I saw it, I jumped out of bed, like on the light, and in my head, I'm going, what the hell? and that it told me it was the Hat Man. And then it started like shooting off this weird vibe toward my now ex-husband, just hatred. Like, whoa, like I've never
maybe
felt.
It was protecting you.
I was gonna say maybe he was picking up on
It didn't feel like it. It felt
well, but if it was shooting it at your now ex-husband, I'm just saying maybe it knew something you didn't. Something to consider.
Maybe.
Yeah. Guys, we are at the 15-second mark.
Was alarming.
So we've got to start it in ready. We're gonna go now in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Nice way to make all the lonely people feel bad now, honey.
I got 2 drinks now.
Very
cool. Thank you, husband.
Yes, I like that. Your husband popped on
he
chat
brought
earlier.
me.
Yeah, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna remove Winnie from the stream. I'll unplug here. All right, there we go. So now we're both in frame. Can you guys all hear us and see us?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, guys, this is it. I promised we'd go till 12:01 for everybody tonight to give everybody that was stuck at home something fun to do. For those of you on the West Coast, fuck you. You're on your own. No, we
We're
wish
out.
you all the best. This is the time to restart this video from the beginning and watch it until the time clicks over for you in the West Coast. But I want to thank all of you guys for popping on.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to thank all of our listeners that have joined in and have chatted along with us and shared insights and stories. Also, special thanks to Shane and Marie, who we couldn't keep online for some reason. But thank you all very much. And we just pray for you all that 2022 is a much better year. And we'll do that now real quick. Lord, I just ask that you be with all of our friends here. And I ask that you be with all of our relatives and family that we can't be with. Be with them, protect them, and keep them safe as we march into the new year. And I ask that you give us a year of peace. Give us a year of tranquility and a chance to come together as one instead of divided and with anger and hatred amongst us. We ask for this healing for our planet. We ask for this healing for ourselves and our souls. And we ask that you help each one of us to learn to take the right time for ourselves in this new year. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
For all of you only tonight, we wish you all the best, and we hope that 2022 brings you new friends, new love, new insights, new fun. Come on out and see us at darknessevents.com. Find out where we're going to be. Come meet us. There's free hugs and free selfies at every event. Everything else costs money, but free hugs and free selfies at all events. And, from the Schrady Bunch to your bunch, have a very happy, healthy, and safe new year. And we'll see you again next year, right here.
Happy New Year.
Thank
you.